Hey Coasters, welcome to my channel. My name is Cam. I am an IT professional with over 25 years of experience, and I was laid off back in November 2025. It hit me hard, but I was left with an opportunity of thinking of what I'm going to do next. And so what I'm going to do next is create this channel called Coasters. The intent of Coasters is to motivate people to go outside, get away from the screens, break out from the mundane, and find these coasters. At least it gives you an excuse to get outside and go see different places, like different parks or parks that you wanted to go check out but didn't know it had this stuff or whatever. But this channel is also evolving. I'm going to continue doing my coasters, but as I'm building my channel, I also did one video that said what I do to prep for an interview. And people watched it. And then I thought to myself, well, why can't I mix both to help young professionals or people trying to get back into the market, what they can do or what I've learned, and hopefully the experience can help you folks trying to navigate the IT ecosystem. So I decided I am going to create videos that are two parts. The one part being the IT side, my experience, and then the second part would be me hiding these coasters and sharing with you folks. So folks who don't want to watch the IT part can fast forward to the coasters part of the treasure hunt or the scavenger hunt, and folks who just want to watch the IT part can just watch the beginning and then don't have to look at the coasters. It's up to you. So let's start with the IT part. First thing I want to talk about and we'll cover is soft skills. And in soft skills, one of the main components, I'm going to use my IT brain here, is communications. Communication in my mind, my experience, is up there in priority of what to kind of hone in on and try to not perfect, but try to refine. So let me give you an example. Let me give you some backstory, actually. I dropped out of college, and with only a high school diploma, my first job was building computers. Building computers. I built desktops with motherboards, CPUs, hard drives, power supplies. That led into my desktop support job, my first, quote unquote, professional job where I was getting paid a salary. And back then, the help desk, which I was on, had different squads. And the squad I was on was for supporting Office. Not Office 365, but the Office suite. Well, you had your Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and this application called Access. And it was there that I learned what communication meant. So what happened was I was supporting Access. And back in those days, we didn't have, as you can see now, chatbots, AI, things like that. Internet was still kind of new. God, I'm dating myself. But anyway, we had to learn everything. And we had to read these thick manuals, these books. And it talked about Access, but there was no real world applications for it until I worked at the service desk or help desk. So I was working with an engineer from an automotive company, and this engineer was trying to build inventory lists. And the inventory list that they were working on couldn't quite work on Excel. But Access was a next level up. I would say Access was like a glorified Excel spreadsheet. And this engineer didn't know how to use it, was kind of lost in the weeds with it. So I helped this engineer kind of set up some things, but there was a communication barrier. I kept trying to troubleshoot the engineer's issue. And then one day it dawned on me. It's like, what is it that you're trying to do? And the engineer started explaining. And I said, okay, you're building inventory for car parts. And Excel was just not dynamic enough like Access was. Go figure. So I had to understand their terms. So to put it this way, I said from the wheel back. So you have your brakes, your rims, your calipers, your tie rod. Where does it stop? And the engineer said, just by the frame. Okay. So I had all these parts that he wanted to kind of inventory. So I said, okay, let's create the wheel table, and then we would name all these parts. Okay. Back then, that's the simplicity of Access. But besides the point, what I needed to understand and what I needed to grasp is, how do I teach this engineer with communications instead of trying to solve this engineer's problem? And that's when it made it easier. When I started asking about the actual components of the car and start talking about the terms they understood, my troubleshooting was on my end. My teaching was on that end with the engineer. And from there, it became easier. Okay, so fast forward to now, and I've been working on identity and access management, IAM, for about 10 years now. And so let me give you a scenario that either most of us have witnessed or it's going to come. You have senior leadership coming in, and they just think identity is about ID and your password, which is totally fine. It's a little bit more complex than that. But for you folks who are trying to get into the IT world and communication, as complex as it may be, you have to teach them what identity is, or whatever you're trying to tell them, right? So, and the only way I can tell you right now is, people use the term like, talk to them like they're 5 years old. Don't talk to them like they're 5 years old, but talk to them like you're teaching them. And I think that's kind of where you got to be at. You're teaching senior leadership. So, for example, for folks who are in an identity, role-based access control, or RBAC, and privileged access management are some terms that people in the identity world know about. And you're trying to tell leadership about, oh, we need to implement RBAC and have a privileged access management program. They're not going to know what that means to them. Put into context, right? So with identity, everything is about risk and brand exposure. So what I would recommend is, you're going to say, hey, we need this program to mitigate either the risk or brand exposure. It's going to take how long? 2 months, let's say. And if you have cost, break it down to cost. But one of the key components that you want to say is, it's going to ease with audit, right? So as a leader, senior leadership or leader, you're going to realize, or they're going to realize, okay, this is important because it mitigates risk. It helps us with audit. Now I know it's going to cost us this much. What's my plan? That's their job to do. That's to figure out where to get the money and how much time do I have. Because the whole IT ecosystem, they're looking at all these projects. Now, do they understand the impact of those projects? Probably not. But that's kind of the communication steps that you're going to have to take. So that's kind of the first skill set or soft skill that I would recommend, is learning those bits and pieces of communication to get you there faster, to kind of not stay in that steady state of, I type the same email and it doesn't work. I know AI is kind of there to help you type the emails, but face-to-face in-person meetings, that's where you're going to shine with communication. Okay, so that's the IT part of this video. I'll include more in my next ones, but hopefully you guys like it, don't like it, leave me a comment. And for folks who want to continue on the scavenger hunt, here's the next section to it. But for you folks, it's just the IT part, my 25 years of experience. Hopefully this was helpful. Good luck, and let's get to the next one. Okay guys, we are walking in this park, and I have something to share with you here. I'm gonna go slow, but this place is cool. you're gonna find a lot of wildlife out here. But check this out. I'm gonna see if I can get a good shot of it. Here's one, and then there's the other one. How can you not want to go out and check these animals out? You never know what you'll see. I was just actually trying to film my intro while I walked, and I noticed things moving, and here are these two animals. Aren't they beautiful? And it looks like they're walking towards me. I don't know if they've been fed by people, but this one's getting awfully close. It's just staring me down, checking me out. I think these are Sandhill cranes. I think we're at a standstill here. They're obviously used to humans because they don't seem too afraid. I can film you guys all day long. Oh, where are we going? I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is how close I am with the crane. I haven't moved. Well, at least my feet. Okay, I adjusted the zoom. That's how close they are to me. Literally, I could pet them if I could, but I'm not going to. But that's how close. And we're gonna walk the other way here. Leave these guys alone.